Welcome, I'm Diablo68 and today we're looking at the top 5 deck builder games. Now we're looking at only standalone deck builder games or like board games, not CCGs, collectible card games where you keep buying additional cards like Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. Dark Gothic is pretty standard to most deck builders. It doesn't break too many of those normal rules that deck builders have in place. A simple market deck which puts cards in the middle, and it's got a very interesting yet simple resource system. It's literally just 3 different colours of resources, and it's how you manipulate those in your deck to try and win the game, and it's used for everything, but buying every single card and for your win conditions, fighting villains as well. It's quite interesting the fact that it does give you different characters that you can choose from, and they determine what is actually in your starting deck, what type of resources that you sort of sway towards at the start, but also gives you a special ability. I think Dark Gothic is focusing more on the theme and the style rather than the content for me. Is lacking a bit of strategy, synergy of mixing your cards together. But saying that, the game is a solid deck builder game, and if the people you're playing with will get into this theme, then this game's absolutely fine to play. You will enjoy it. I just think there are better games on this list. This is why it's in at number 5. Clank is a really interesting twist on your traditional deck builder game. Not only are you obviously putting cards into your deck and making it better, but actually the point of it is the fact that you use those cards to manipulate a token, a person that you have on the board as you go along. And you have to kind of think of this game as you're delving into the depths of a dungeon. You want to try and avoid the dragon who could kill you, but you also want to pick up loot and relics to then try and escape out of the game. It's really interesting how you use those cards, and you get the market comes down, you're like, oh, that card's really quite good, but then you know it's because it's how you're going to manipulate it on the board. You see what other players are doing, you try and take a different route or a different tactic, or see what strategy they're doing. It's a really interesting game, and it's fun, especially when you bring in like this dragon attack and you take things out the bag. It can be a bit harder for the uptake of newer players to get into it, but I think the lighter theme rewards them and makes them want to sort of attack and approach, even though it's a harder theme to go through. Clank is really good, enjoyable game. Tyrants of the Underdog is again similar to Clank, not just a deck builder, but you also have a board that you need to manipulate with that deck to try and win the game. Bit more of a sort of a strategy version, this one, with a kind of, think of like a risk style. You're trying to take more territories to control more areas to get more ways of winning the game. Again, standard with deck builders, 10 cards in your deck, 5 cards each turn. It's a normal market that comes down, allowing you to buy, I think it's up to 6 different cards that you can purchase, and then the standard cards that you can put into your deck as well. It does have some really interesting sort of ways of doing things in Tyrants of the Underdog as well. You have lots of different cards which give different abilities, yet it's quite standard on the board of what you can do. I love the promote ability. It allows you to promote cards out of your deck, so thin in your deck, but for additional points. Really interesting way they've done it. It's interesting tactics of the board, of how, and you sort of communicating, there's diplomacy going on, trying to get people to attack and sort of mess over other people, and it's got the strategy of how you try and expand and go through the board, whilst obviously manipulating your deck as well. It's a very interesting game, quick and easy to play, and a lot of fun. Hero Realms is a well-polished deck builder game. It does not break any of the boundaries of a deck builder. It's not in at number 2 because it's revolutionary with different ideas. It is as standard as they come, but it's in at number 2 because it has been done extremely well, and it is extremely well polished. It is one of those, it's just as standard as they come. 10 starting cards in your deck, half of those cards or some of those cards for buying additional cards, other ones for dealing damage and winning the game, your victory condition effectively. But it has interesting themes, synergy of the deck as you go along. It's got thinning, it's got life gain, it's got different styles of what you can do. And the thing is, it's so quick and easy to set up. It's quick and easy to explain the rules. The games can be quick. You can make them a bit longer if you want. You're starting with additional lives. But the point is, it's fun to play, and you can just keep on going over and over and over of this game. I've brought people who've never played a deck builder. They've picked this up extremely quickly. Other people in my play group where we play games all the time, and we all still really like Hero Realms. It's quick, easy, and good. Dominion was one of the standard first deck builders that came out. It's extremely well polished, very easy, has strategy. It's worth picking up, especially for new players. I've also put Eminent Domain on this list. It's a very good game. It's a lot more complicated. You definitely need to have people who are a bit more geeky in board games, but it's very good to pick up as well. And also last one, Arkham Horror is slightly different. It's a living card game, which I didn't really want to put in this list. We need to keep buying additional cards, but it's quite good and teamwork to play as well. Thunderstone is an absolutely brilliant strategic deck builder game. One of the things I have with deck builders, and a lot of the ones on the list that I have, is that they're so random. A random market deck comes down, you're shuffling random cards together. Thunderstone, you have strategy right from the start. You lay out the cards which are going to be used to play, you form a strategy and you go with it. You have, difficult options sometimes. Do I want to thin my deck? Do I want to do this? You have to take risks. You have to take a chance sometimes of diving into the dungeon to fight one of these monsters, not entirely knowing that you're going to win, but you've got to take that risk before other people will take the good victory points. So it's risk to reward, it's strategy. You level up heroes as you go along. I mean, leveling up heroes is absolutely great. You put equipment on them. It's just such a good game. There are different ways you can play it as well. You can play epic mode, where then if you do want just pure randomness, you gain the pure randomness as well. It is a really good game. It's definitely harder on the uptake. Games of this, you're looking at 2 to 3 hours. There are difficult options that you have to go along. You've got to get your head around strategy. This isn't for new players, this deck builder, but if your playgroup is yearning for a strategic deck builder game to sink their teeth into, Thunderstone is that, and that's why it's number 1 on my list. I really hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. I've got video links on the page right now for some of the games I've talked about. I also have a review for all of the games we've talked about, apart from some of those worthy mentioned ones which I'm going to try and do. Feel free to click on the subscribe button at the bottom, and I hope to see you again soon.